gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, as we are almost, well, we are actually past the halfway point here in Group A, with all of these players looking to fight for the opportunity to advance on into the next round. Zest and Stats have truly solidified themselves up at the top right now, with Patience, SpeCial, and Hero trying to claw at the potential for that third place position. It's not all that cut and dry. There is the potential that some absolute craziness happens in this group, and then some things can be jostled around. But for the most part, that is where we stand right now. Welcome back to the battle station. I'm joined by In Control and the Muslim Gentleman. So far, so good for Zest and Stats.
And that was kind of the prediction, right? Like, those two were the best Protosses of the group, and they're both really playing to their names, too. Yeah. Zest is just killing people left, right, and center. Stats is playing cool, calm, and calculated. And honestly, it's really good to see both these guys here in very good form, because they both went out actually fairly early in the GSL, way earlier than anybody expected.
Yeah. It was actually off camera that Rotterdam was kind of talking about this, but it's been funny. There's been very minimal upsets so far in this IEM Katowice. I know we StarCraft fans like our normalcy. We like the best to win. We don't want any luck here. We don't want anything weird. But I'm still kind of waiting, and I think that third slot is going to be the surprising one, because right now it is a bit of a... What did you say? It might have been off camera as well. It's like a knife fight in a phone booth. Is that a British thing?
No,
that's an Aussie thing.
Australians that say
everything.
That.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a knife fight with a kangaroo and a dingo and a
all that
the
dog.
Exactly. Anyways, the point is, it's going to get scrappy, right? And this is a tough one. SpeCial still having Zest on his to-do list is pretty rough. Because you gotta like Zest's chances to just kind of close this out.
Let's focus on SpeCial here for a moment, Ben, because he is a player right now that still has a chance to be able to go through into the next round, of course, but still quite an uphill struggle. He's got to play against Zest next.
It doesn't get much easier with Zest. Zest is a guy throughout the history of StarCraft II that he's 2-base all-in Terrans. He's killed them with 1 base. Like, I remember against Maru back in the day when it was KT Rolster against Jin Air Green Wings. He used to smash Maru even back then as the best Protoss in the world. So going up against him, he truly is a Protoss that knows how to win. Like, he's got that killer instinct, very much like MC. It doesn't matter what happens in the game. He will try and beat you down with any number of units and any combination of units too.
That 360 camera of Juanito.
It was it's interesting.
It's like somebody's got lost and just wandered into the wrong set or something.
Yeah.
But it's great all the same.
It was funny. It was a good shot.
It was good. It was good. So any thoughts about SpeCial coming into this?
I think this is reality coming crashing in. Like, it's nice to beat Creator. It kind of feels like Creator's, I mean, obviously we don't have talk too much about this, but it feels like Creator's having a little bit of a meltdown. It seems like some great analysis earlier talking about how if kind of pressure gets under his skin, he seems to fall apart a little bit. I think it was Pig.
Yeah.
They kind of talked a lot about some kind of glass tower crashing down. I think it's crashed down. He actually took some little note from the referees. He actually asked for some extra time between this match because he was going to go walk it off and kind of try to calm himself down. He's not, I mean, you were saying he's eliminated. I think it's like not technically that he's eliminated or something like that, but it's, I guess, Impact last year, Katowice did go through at 2-3, but the light's getting dimmer, and I think he doesn't control his own destiny anymore, so it's tough.
Yeah, very much so. Let's talk about Zest on the other side, though, for this matchup, because right now, absolutely flying. 3-0, 6-1 in maps, Ben, looking good.
Super duper fresh. By the way, for third place, Hero is 1-0 against Patience as well.
Ooh,
so that third place match is going to become very, very tight to see who goes through. Because Hero, he did beat SpeCial already. And I mean, he's probably one of the people that he'll be competing for with that third spot. So SpeCial's just he's got to win every match from here on out.
And while you mentioned that, it gets even tighter after this round as well, because of course, Hero will then play Creator, who is very, almost, as Jeff mentions, lights out, and then Patience versus SpeCial, 2 of those people that are competing for that third spot as well. So it's getting very close.
Yeah, this is going to be very close. Stats and Zest have pretty much guaranteed themselves, right, at this point?
Pretty much.
3-0.
Unless something mental.
And they play each other last in the group too, so that's a decider to see who goes through to the round of 8. Yeah, which
unless
is a big
someone
deal too.
drops the ball in this round.
That is true. That is true. But like the big deal also, getting first in the groups as opposed to just getting second or third. When I say just getting second or third, but being guaranteed top 8 in this tournament. There are so many good names in the groups that you could avoid. Imagine coming up against the second place in Group B. It could be Dart. I mean, Maru could have a slip and come second as well. Like, just getting ahead and avoiding these players
I mean,
is a big deal.
it's not something that we've spoken about too much in the round of 76 and coming into the round of 24, but there's $400,000 on the line, which 388,000 of that is in the prize pool, and then 200 per best of 3 win here in the group stage. But getting through to the round of 8 is $10,000, which you can make in the group stage, and then getting to the round of 12 is 5,000. So if you get that first place, you're effectively doubling your money already here on this stage. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just that part of it, too. Like, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the money does get astronomical. First, second, and third come out of this tournament. Wealthy individuals, $150,000 for first place.
What else do we actually have? What games are you guys in at the moment, as we just have a little bit of time more to talk before we get into
I'm in Hero versus Patience game 2, I guess.
Game 2?
Yeah, Ben and I swapped Barood.
Yeah, wait,
he was giving excellent
and Hero
analysis.
was 1-0 ahead, too, in that match. But I'm going to be in Creator versus Stats. That doesn't get much easier for Creator, being 0-3 down.
How did you switch around? What happened?
Ben was giving analysis, and I took the invite,
Sneaky. I like it.
That's what they call me.
Yeah, sneaky. Yeah. I feel like they call you Jeff in Control Robinson, but
they do.
Jeffrey John Vincent Robinson.
That's very...
Once upon a time.
That's particularly accurate.
That's my kingly name. Wait.
Yeah. And your reporter name.
That's right.
Wait, do you have middle names, Ben?
James.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
James.
brilliant. Well played.
James Baker.
Benjamin James Baker.
I like it. Yeah,
BJB.
That didn't go down too well in high school.
No. Anyway, beyond that.
Your choice of wording there, too, is questionable.
Oh, dear. Did we speak much about Zest when it came to
you can always hear Pig laughing somewhere, too. There's all these different stages around
you hear the gasp and stuff.
Did we talk much about Zest PVT? I can't remember. Yeah, obviously hasn't had a chance to show it.
We basically talked about it in regard that SpeCial is super dead. Like, he's going to have a very tough time.
It's also so that Zest will often attack you with something that you absolutely don't expect, and it shouldn't really work in theory. Like, he really popularized the Warp Prism with the 4 Stalkers in, when people were opting for Adepts instead or Charge Lots. So he's very difficult to play against. Also, you know those forward gateways that people really highlighted? People talk about the nerf of strategies from certain players, like the 3x Reaper from Beyond. Yeah. I really felt that Zest was a real prominent figure in getting the Adept build time nerf, just because of how quick he would spear that at the opponent's base.
He exploits stuff. I think the other part, too, is that he's a little bit of a mismatch, because I feel like the Terrans that opt for, cloaked Banshee play and a couple of tanks backed by Marines, really technical, hitting on a greedy Protoss. I feel like Zest, and this is just my speculation, it's one of the worst Protosses to do that against, because I think he's just kind of doing the tried and true anyways as well, and there's a good chance there's 6 gateways, charge, and blink behind that, then it's just not what you want to face, whereas some of these other Protoss are all about minimizing their units, having a tech for harass, like a Stargate, and then they take a fast third, and then that kind of build can get in there, but Zest is looking to kill you, so if you try to come after him, you have to out-micro him. Good luck on that.
Right. Yeah. Well, thoughts, Ben? I mean, he did defeat Alive and Gumiho during the online qualifiers, you should even say, to actually get here, which is impressive. But scratch that, Ben. I'm not going to ask you the question because our commentators are ready. Don't need to hear from Benjamin anymore.
Don't answer that.
Let's go over to the commentators. Yeah.
We are so ready. G'day, mates. Full Australian cast here for this next TVP. SpeCial Juanito flexes his TVP muscles once more. This time, it is going to be against Zest. Pig, thoughts on the series?
We're going to find out if Zest is best. So far in Protoss vs. Protoss, yeah, he is best. He's destroyed everybody. He's absolutely crushed everybody. Zest has looked amazing. And, I mean, for Zest, it's like, hey, I'd love that first spot seed straight through to the round of 8, you know? As you get to the later stages of this tournament, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars per extra round you progress. It is insane the amount of money and prestige on the line. For SpeCial, he's on the other end of just fighting for his life. For him, he's just hoping he can get to a position where he can get that 3rd spot through to the round of 12 out of this group.
Yeah, that's what he's battling for right now. Obviously, Zest clearly on top here, along with Stats, who have been crushing this group so far. So you fully expect them to continue to do so, as they've just basically got PvP after PvP, and they have been showing their dominance in those matches. SpeCial, however, has a few matches that I think are quite doable for him, so his chances are well and truly alive.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating. Zest, one of the most crisp early game players. His opening Warp Prism harass, something he's very well known for. His early Stalker Adept pressure. This is the first few minutes of this game, I think, is going to be integral.
And in the top left here, hailing from Mexico, the foreign Terran, he is SpeCial.
And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, the Protoss player, he is Zest. I believe playing for Ocean Gaming.
Ocean Gaming, all right, well. Okie dokie. Well, we got ourselves a TV here, starting on Cyber Forest. Feels like we've been seeing a ton of Automaton in these games.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of this map as well. Cyber Forest it's interesting. I was even watching, it's funny, just before we went live today, I was watching Hero Marine's stream, and he was playing Zest a lot on the ladder on Cyber Forest, and I gotta tell you, that early Stalker Adept pressure, oh man, it was brutal, not to mention some very cool Warp Prism attacks, even including a very early Sentry drop where he force-fielded Hero Marine out of his main base. And did it like a heavy harassment. So I'm wondering if that was just Zest warming up some crazy builds or if he's going to bring out anything like that here in this series against SpeCial.
Damn, well, I actually think that Zest, another thing that Zest does that's extremely scary that SpeCial has also struggled with in the past is that 3 gas, tons of gateway, overwhelming, just like a million gateway units and just face rolling through the charge lot, sentry, stalkers, and foregoing splash damage for just sheer swarm of Protoss gateway.
Really good versus those Raven styles, right? There's
Yeah.
no real big targets for the interference matrix. I guess anti-armor missile is pretty awesome against charge lot stalker, but it's hard to land on that mobile army. So definitely something which there's going to be that sort of intersection, right? A lot of people have been going 2-base Colossus, and Ravens have been really good at fighting against that. On the other hand, the Raven build not quite as flexible as some of these others, so there's a lot of back and forth. And what I've noticed here from SpeCial so far in his games is he's been doing a lot of that hunting down the observers. I mean, what was it, the first series against Stats? 2 games. He scanned, the observer scooted, barely survived, he had to use a second scan to get it. So it was like a really tough start, I think, to the day for SpeCial, but he's very focused on denying information and creating heavy pressure. A lot of 5 barracks before 3rd command center plays, and I wonder if he's going to bring that here against Zest style.
And SpeCial actually did a really good job on this map of surprising Stats with a massive attack on the 3rd Nexus if you cast your mind back. And while he managed to get cleaned up by Stats pretty well, to be honest, but the follow-up was where the real teeth was, you know, from SpeCial's army came on in there and took an incredible engagement. And that was without Ravens. That was just a beautiful positioning with a ton of Vikings to punish those Colossi. At the moment from Zest, it is just getting up in a robo-tech, still just powering along as per usual, but SpeCial here, getting that extra barracks, tucking it into the back of his mineral line, trying to deny that extra bit of vision that you mentioned from Zest.
Now the Reaper did go down, but it bought a bit of time. Are there enough Marines at the front? No, he's not even going to try to defend the ramp. Fair enough. He's obviously just going to, he's evacuated the SCVs. He says, fine, I'll drop my mules on the high ground for now. We'll wait for this Cyclone to push you back. You can deny a little bit of the efficiency of my mining, but that's about it. The starport goes down as well, and he will be building forwards. Of course, the early 2nd barracks, really the new evolution, which I think a lot of players who were watching previously hadn't really identified and seen this before. If you were watching 6 months or a year ago, you go, why is the 2nd barracks before the starport? It allows you to just get more Marines for those potential 2-base tank pushes down the road.
Certainly, and also make sure that, because you want a reactor in one of those barracks, you make sure that they have at least stim or combat shield, one or the other, which is 2 different versions of that 2-base push. There comes that prism.
3 Zealots already in it. Those are SCV murderers right there. Those guys, like, seriously, if you can get in the main base, they can be absolutely brutal for that. This is that very fast prism that Zest is so famous for. We were talking about it earlier, how he really revolutionized in Legacy of the Void with the range pickup, how these warp prisms are used. He's going to go into that main base. There's so much space here. SpeCial does not see it at all. Is he going to warp in sentries?
Shh, no one tell him, SpeCial. Attack into the main base.
There's a Protoss in there!
Oh my
Shut your eyes! Don't go in there! There's a Protoss!
The call is coming from inside the main! He's going to lock onto the Warp Prism. He just gets out of there. Not going to kill the Warp Prism. Zest continuing to do damage from inside of SpeCial's infrastructure here. Right on top of the production. This is so deadly for the Terran.
Oh, nice Cyclone lock-on. Does take out one of the Stalkers. He doesn't want to siege the tank because this main is so big, but he is moving up in and defending the base. Now, this is cool. The way Zest does this is he's always ready to recall, and he's going to do it. Oh, he's looking to pick off a few more units. He might be getting a little bit greedy.
Yeah,
SpeCial's going to edge over with the tanks. The Adept checking to make sure he's got more time.
It's definitely overstaying his welcome here a little bit, but I mean, like you mentioned, he can always clump up his units and go for the recall, even bring back the Warp Prism if he clumps them all under to get under there. And with the Twilight Council and Forge follow-up, this is just vintage Zest, and even Stats did the same sort of follow-up here. It's going to go straight into trying to get those charge units up. Where is... Oh, okay, that's got to be a recall, surely. There we go.
Yeah.
One Zealot left behind.
The sacrificial Zealot there was the guy with the eye patch from the intro cinematic to Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
First one on the ground, last one out. You know, at the end of that, we're watching from Zest's view. Seemed kind of cool. Damaged a reactor, picked off a few SCVs, a Marine or two. Didn't really kill that much, though. Look at the worker count. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that Muslim did a great job of picking up in his series against Stats, is that SpeCial is just non-stop building SCVs, like even oversaturating his bases there, and then going into a third base and saturating it immediately. So he really has a focus on getting up to the 50, 60 SCV mark and then going on from there. Ooh, we got a Templar Archives coming down here along with Charge from Zest, as we kind of expect here. Armor going to be helping out those Zealots quite a bit when the battle happens.
It's like 2-base Charge with Archon.
Yeah, this is...
And this is awesome if SpeCial just commits to a push and doesn't realize how big the army is, but I think SpeCial has realized how much aggression has come out. I just want to see SpeCial scout. He needs to get some Marines or SCVs out on the map. You notice how the Prism just picked off a Marine that was trying to get out on the map? Right now, SpeCial is in the dark.
Cyclone comes in here and locks onto that Warp Prism, but a nice cute bit of micro there from Zest. Picks off that Warp Prism and taps on out of there. Does not lose it. And picks off a Cyclone for free. Very nicely done by Zest. I mean, SpeCial did send in a Marine across the map, but all he did was have a look at the natural probe line. There was no juicy information there for him to see. Templar Archives wasn't there yet, so he didn't see that. The thing is, though, if SpeCial's playing like he did against Stats, I'm expecting a Ghost Academy soon, because SpeCial actually got the Ghost Academy a lot faster than you would normally expect. However, the time is kind of passing here. Stalker's continuing to do more damage here with the Warp Prism being very annoying. A 16 Marine drop looks like it's pulling back to try and pick it off, and it gets out of there again. Nice. So annoying.
Yeah, Zest is really annoying. He's not doing actual damage, though, and the thing is, that scan goes down, so he's a Templar Archives, but it's not upgrading. I think, you know, SpeCial, I kind of want to say just sit back, wait for a few more Marines, a few more medevacs, but does he even need to? His army is just getting so scary. He's got so many Marines, the upgrades are lining up, +1 shield, Stim is already here. Yeah, that's some scary charge lot Archon, but I think the Marine count might just be enough.
Yeah, +1 attack. It's going to do a lot of damage output here against these gateway units.
I kind of prefer Mines with this, though. That's a lot of Zealots. He's got to be careful. He can't let those siege tanks all go down for free.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, that'll do. I mean, Zest is actually has 0 splash damage. Well, not 0. These Archons technically do splash damage, but as far as he's concerned, these SCVs are actually going to do quite a lot here. With 3 tanks, if he can keep them in the back line doing damage, this is actually looking all right for SpeCial.
Oh, he doesn't know where the army is. His tanks cannot afford to go down. Uh-oh, his tanks are in the open. The Observer sees this. Zest is going to go for it. Nice pickups on the tanks. He
saves every single one.
Yeah, pull them behind the army. And SpeCial saying, come down this ramp and fight me, mate. Come and try me. Zest looking for the opening. He wants to fight in the open ground. And these, oh, there's just too many Marines. There's just too many Marines here, Maynard. He's going to lure him back into those tanks, but actually a flank on the south at the same time.
The SCVs are doing nothing here. The tanks go down. So SpeCial was looking at his Marines a little bit too much. He is doing an all right job on the high ground, but with the Prism Micro, Zest is actually doing all right. The ghost of Zest past and SpeCial's future getting shown on screen during the engagement.
Oh, and SpeCial there. His army just got separated. That was a beautiful maneuver by Zest. I really thought SpeCial was just going to pick off a few units, pull back to the tanks, and then, of course, we zoomed out and realized the tanks were all gone. A beautiful flank by Zest there. He just used the positioning to his advantage, realized he had the more mobile army, and now Zest in a beautiful position. SpeCial down and out. Has to tap out of that one. Zest there with the beautiful counterplay. I mean, he did not have a lot of economy. SpeCial did not need to push there, but he didn't have the information. He didn't realize that Zest's third base had only just finished. He actually had equal workers, better economy, better upgrades than Zest. SpeCial could have taken a third and been ahead in the mid-game.
It felt like SpeCial had everything he needed to win that game, but then the execution just perhaps wasn't quite there. Like trying to hammer in a nail with, yeah, you have the correct tool, but then you drop it and it lands on your foot. That's kind of what it looked like there. The SCVs were stuck. They weren't really a part of the battle at all. They were stuck behind the siege tanks on the low ground doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. They exist to buffer for the bio, to keep it alive. So while the charge lots and the Archons are splashing into this SCV wall, the Marines are just doing the DPS from the back, the tanks doing the DPS from the back, and they just weren't.
You know, one way to say that is to say that SpeCial messed up the execution. I would actually word it a completely different way. I think Zest, what he did with his army, and there's a little bit of luck always in such a fast-paced action game like StarCraft. Zest, his army was kind of hidden over at the third. You know, SpeCial couldn't find it. That Observer came in after SpeCial scan wore off, kept track of the army, And I felt like it's always a bit awkward with the siege tanks, right? You want to get them sieged up in range of the base. You want to have the Marines in front of them, the SCVs in front, and kind of just have everything working together. And Zest kind of realized he had this beautiful, scary mobile army. He kind of moved in, moved back, moved in, moved back. And then the Marines came forward to try and protect the reinforce because the rallying tanks and Marines were in trouble. And that was the moment where Zest just pounced from the right-hand side at the same time. And I mean, a beautiful way to take that engagement, because you've got to remember the pressure was on for Zest. This wasn't him just sitting back saying, hey, I've got a bigger economy, I'm going to beat you in the long game. He actually wanted SpeCial to push then, and he needed to win that fight decisively because he didn't have much tech behind it.
Let's get into game number 2 here on Kairos Junction. Let's get into it. We have got in the bottom right, the Mexican Terran. He is SpeCial.
Dropped his first map against Creator as well, but did come back to win that 2-1. Up 3-0 in the series so far here in Group A. In the top left, it's Zest.
So far showing off that he is indeed best. Crushing Group A right now.
He's on fire. Really clean player, really clean.
Now that is the proxiest of proxies that have ever proxied.
Dude. That Reaper will get in there so early.
Will he even have started a Zealot by the time that Reaper gets out there? Like,
That's crazy.
That is so ballsy here from SpeCial. But I love it. I think that something like this is how you get inside the head of your opponent.
Is there no probe scout?
Not yet.
Oh, man. Ooh, this is a late worker scout for Zest as well.
Maybe just not respecting his opponent as much, probably feeling confident here.
I mean, in some regards, I get it, because so many people are hiding their barracks anyway. And Zest is probably one of these guys where the current meta, even if your opponent hides their barracks,
oh my god,
is
hello.
Oh, he's
what are you doing back there, mate? Where did you come from?
That SCV
hello.
Says, hey, my drill, your taser. Let's have a party, mate. Oh, does go for the bunker block. Bit cheaper than the engineering bay. And ooh, tries to lure that probe in. Nicely done. That Reaper is definitely going to delay this expansion. So SpeCial has decided the problem, with these current openings, is the Nexus getting down so early. He says, look, if I can just delay the Nexus, I'm happy with this pressure. Single Reaper, barracks lifts off. The Zealot is out, but that Reaper is hungry to get a probe kill or two.
And it needs to really for this opening to have worked out for a SpeCial. He's getting his factory back at home, and the reason why this is, there's a long trip here for this barracks, but you don't really need barracks units right now. What you need as a Terran is just a Cyclone, and then you'll be fine.
Keeps clicking on different probes. So many are low, but the Stalker's here. One probe goes down. A second one is going to fall.
It was stacked.
Can he get the third? Gets the third one, but does go down.
Well, three probes here is not too bad. Looks like SpeCial's just going to cancel that NG Bay. Happy with the amount of delay he's put on this Nexus.
There's a good bit of mining time there as well. You know, a lot of time people, we kind of tunnel vision on the probe kills, but a lot of those probes were busy running away. The Nexus was delayed, and I think this is completely fine for SpeCial. I think this is not necessarily some crazy lead. You know, the Zealot and the Stalker get to go knock on the door and be a little bit annoying. Zest going to move a probe out on the map as well. Two gateways.
Two gateways, so this could potentially be a lot of pressure here.
I mean, that's a big commitment. That's really big.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Cloaked Banshee for SpeCial, I would imagine, to follow it up, and you're not going to have much of a response for that if you go for this 3-gate, so Zest is going to need to find some damage.
Yeah, no Robo, no Stargate. Your Cloaked Banshee countermeasures are nil. So let's see what SpeCial follows up with. He is getting that reactor here. Looks like he wants to switch it over with the barracks. So that, I mean, if he is going to go for a Banshee, it's going to take a little while to get there. Natural up on the high ground. Cyclone is up as well. So Cyclone, more than enough to be able to deal with small amounts of gateway units.
Yeah, I think SpeCial going for the fast starport there, but then changing his mind, because there's no reason going for a starport that early if you're just going to use it to build add-ons, right? So I think he kind of was initially thinking about a Banshee or a Raven, has decided, no, let's just get the 3 barracks up nice and fast, and this builds towards a sick 2-base push. So if SpeCial can deflect this, survive for the next 2 minutes without taking any damage, once his upgrades start rolling in, these add-ons on these barracks start powering out units, he's going to hit a beautiful power point, and there's going to be a very strong push available to him.
Well, SpeCial has got a siege tank up here on the high ground, and that is all well and good, but there is 3 gates worth of Stalkers being warped in here. This is going to be a little bit annoying.
Yeah, it's good the Marine spots that now. He's going to move that tank forward. He's got to be a little bit
He's going
careful.
to the edge of the main there.
Okay, Cyclone is going to think about engaging. It does. Gets a nice hit. Cyclone going to do some tickling as well.
Zest committing here. Another 3 Stalkers being warped. He's up to 9 Stalkers on the front doorstep of SpeCial.
9 Stalkers as Zealot? And there's a second tank, but he's going to put it at the front because he's got nothing to support these tanks.
Uh-oh.
You're expecting the Protoss to never push into this, but Zest is a madman. He's going to go for it.
R/Mad Lad Zest here, getting straight into the middle of that mineral line, taking out SCVs, taking out factory units as well. These Marines don't have a chance in hell of helping out here. Nice lock-ons there from SpeCial. It doesn't finish off the Stalker.
He's got to lift that off. You got to get that command center back to the main. This is a huge commitment from Zest. SpeCial needs to realize where he's at in this game and the fact that he's just got to be very careful and keep all of his units alive. This is actually not bad for him at all.
Wow.
Similar to the previous game, I feel like these opening pressures for Zest aren't really doing enough damage to be worth it.
I love this Liberator for SpeCial. This potentially deal a lot of denied mining time or probe kills here. Zest reacting pretty quickly, but he's going to just won that probe. And he has to warp in a few back at home here, giving SpeCial a lot of room to breathe in that natural to be able to secure it a lot more solidly, I guess.
And that Liberator, nice micro there. SpeCial going to pull it out. Once again, Zest finds himself pinned back on 2 bases, very little tech, and equal work with the Terran. I mean, this control is beautiful from Zest, right? He's got absolute map control. He's got a pylon on the north, a warp prism here. This is all cute. This is all nice, but I'm just not sure if it's enough. Oh, I mean, if you find the drop, it's enough. He spotted it.
He doesn't have blink, so he can't really chase it down. But knowing that it's coming is half the battle. He can warp in some Stalkers back at home. He's getting a Dark Shrine as well right now.
A lot of the time, Terrans do skip Engineering Bay after this sort of situation because they're building so much towards that push. DTs could be the killer move. It's the last thing you expect in this scenario. Oh man, that drop took a ton of damage. It almost went down in the main base. And this drop here, wounding a lot of SCVs, but not actually finishing any of them off.
It did survive, and it saw the Dark Shrine. So an Engineering Bay is getting built here for SpeCial to get that important detection up, get those turrets covering his production in mineral lines. Does make expanding a little bit more difficult as well, knowing that the Cloak Boys are going to be out there.
I love that factory swap over. I love the Engineering Bay. SpeCial is realizing his best bet here is to go into a longer game. Oh, Zest here with some very nice micro. Takes out the medevac with 4 Marines still inside it. Zest being such a pain, but he's still at a terrible economy. Just 42 workers for Zest. He's finally adding on Immortals and Charge Zealots, but we've seen the factory swap onto the reactor. SpeCial is going to be going to a more traditional style. He's got a few tanks, but he's going to add mines, medevacs, and then liberators. The only other thing I want to see from SpeCial here is number 1, patience. Number 2, a third command center when he does start pushing out. He's got to play this very patiently because what have we seen being SpeCial's downfall? Against Stats, he pulled the SCVs into a Protoss who had a worse economy than him, worse tech than him, just had a few more upgrades. We've seen him in multiple games, even that previous one, pulling SCVs when he is actually up in these games. Liberator pressure comes in, kills a few workers. SpeCial just needs to be very patient. These Protoss players, I almost feel like they've clued onto the fact that if they can keep him in the dark, at some point, he's just going to pull the boys and go. So we're seeing overly safe Protoss players kind of managing to metagame SpeCial because they seem to understand his mindset. But SpeCial just dropped a scan. He saw that there was no third base with the combination of the Liberator and the scan. He knows it's a 2-base Protoss. SpeCial, he's showing that patience. He's not even moving out, and the third command center on the production tab. SpeCial is adapting his play to the situation. I love it.
I love it too. We'll see if this medevac can actually get those Widow Mines dropped. And yes, friends, we see DT Blink is on the way. Shadow Stride from his burning eyes for the Dark Shrine. We'll see if it actually has anything to do with this game at all. That's so many DTs being whooped in by Zest.
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
Someone call Fear Dragon. I think we're going to have a mass DT Blink in aggressive here from Zest.
Oh man, if you don't happen to have any scans ready, this is something which can just win the game. Is that a DT drop going in the back of the natural? I believe it is. At the same time, the Widow Mine drop going to counter on the other side. Okay, this game's about to get messy. Split screen, first person view. On the left-hand side, the Prism drops the DTs. The Cyclone and the turret being microed fantastically. Both players watching the same area, but SpeCial is going to re-drop Widow Mine to the main base at the same time.
Oh, no reaction. It's a late reaction here from Zest. The Widow Mine's going to get a lot of probes here at the main. Nicely done there from SpeCial. Zest warping in to be able to defend against them. Meanwhile, in the main and the natural especially, gets rid of the Warp Prism, and he shuts down the DT harassment, and SpeCial just way too ahead of that situation. Zest forced to tap out. He ties it up 1 apiece.
Oh, one moment where they both decided to hit each other with a super huge what do you even call that sort of harassment, right? It's like, it's so expensive if you lose that Prism, the DTs. But if you happen to lose, what, 14, 15 probes behind it, you're already on a pretty terrible economy like Zest was. You're down and out in that game. So Zest here, he's been opening up with some very controlling plays, but SpeCial, he adapted, showed some flexibility, and shut it down that time around.
Zest played so solidly in game number 1. Game 2, it felt like he was memeing a little bit. But SpeCial's like, no. I'm in this group for a reason, my friend. Yeah, I'm a huge threat to you. You got to take this seriously.
You know what's so funny is it's this weird little metagame I feel that's happening around specific Terran players, but especially SpeCial. Yep, I said it. God, I hate myself right now. Especially with this Terran player, he's so prone to SCV pulling at the moment. Everyone's realizing it, and we've just seen this very different kind of sort of Protoss plays. Zest here, 2 games in a row though. I worry a little bit because we didn't really see a proper third base in either of those. And since SpeCial's so solid in the early game, Zest kind of needs to, I think, get a third and potentially do something a little bit later on. We saw that SpeCial, he's scanning, he's sending Marine scouts around the edges, and he's actually checking what the Protoss is doing. He's not taking anything for granted. He's realizing these guys are really respecting the skill that he brings to the table, and they're not trying to play him in the most straight up manner. They're kind of trying to counter his specific strategies right here.
Yeah, certainly are. Both players know each other very, very well. They hit each other all the time on the Korean ladder. They are here in Poland trying to do it on stage in the Spodek Arena. Can Zest close this out with a 2-1, or will SpeCial keep his hopes of getting out of Group A alive? Let's get into it.
The Guardian of Guadalajara.
Guadalajara.
That's right. Against Korea. Over here on the bottom left-hand side, in the blue, the Terran, the lone non-Protoss player in Group A. Can he make his way out of this group? He is SpeCial.
I know he can, but will he? He's got one giant monster standing in his way here on the far right of Automaton. It is Zest! Whoa! I feel like I gotta get my seatbelt on for these zoom-ins, dude.
Epic zoom-ins. I mean, these are some very action-packed matches. For those of you who don't know, this is a round-robin group stage. 6 players in the groups. You've got to play 5 best-of-3 series against every other player in the group. Now, SpeCial started off losing his first 2. He won his 3rd set. This is his 4th. This is very important. He technically could lose this and still go through, but the chances go down drastically. So if he can beat Zest here, one of the 2 group leaders, then his chances are going to go up. And of course, he was, when we had our last update, tied 1 win, 2 series losses, along with Hero and Patient. So the 3 of them are all looking to just kind of clinch that 3rd spot in the group.
Now, SpeCial did actually open this way on Automaton last time when he was facing Stats. He actually went for the proxy that's not really a proxy, as we can see here.
The, what, the Macarax is what that used to be called in 2010, right?
So just trying to force an overreaction out of the Protoss. We'll see if it does or not. Zest is not probe scouting immediately here.
No scout at all.
Yeah, so he's just keeping that probe in front of the natural, which means that I guess he won't overreact.
This is really cool. Zest is like, yeah, sometimes you proxy your barracks outside your base, sometimes you proxy it near my base. You know what? I always go Cybercore first. And since I'm going to be chrono boosting an Adept straight away, I don't even need to scout. He just seems to have decided that this is the way he likes to play this for the most part. And Zest is a guy who loves to do the same opening over and over and over again, and then learn many branches off that opening. Many different pushes he can just explode into. Things like these War Prism attacks we've seen him try. We've seen him do, what was that, 3-gate Stalker coming in that last game, looking for SpeCial to be a bit lazy, have the tank on the low ground and just lose the game straight up. So Zest here, he seems to be saying, you know what, Cybercore first, straight into Adept. This is the solid PvT opening for me right now.
Yeah, some Stargate play as well. The Adept on the high ground, nailing that Reaper, getting it out of its house. The Reaper, of course, can have a look in that natural and deny a little bit of mining.
It's hard to scout on this map, and oh, that Adept's hunting. But
she wants him.
Ooh! Good job, SpeCial. Keeping that alive is very important. Very important.
Right,
against this sort of 3, it's going to be a 3 Adept Oracle play.
What? What is this CC doing out there?
Oh, probably just a Liberator, I would imagine.
That's
could be a Banshee. Could be a few different things.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a Hellion drop, I think. There's no. I say that, we're going to see like the factory lift off after this Cyclone swap, and we're going to be like, what? It's really late Hellion drop. Reaper is going to jump on into that main base. Adept says, get out of here! And Reaper is gone. SpeCial, though, seen multiple Adepts. Hasn't seen a Stalker and Adept coming across the map. I think you can safely surmise it is Stargate. He indeed already has a Cyclone on the way. It's popped out. Command Center on the high ground, second barracks on the way. SpeCial here, you know, this seems to be the sort of game he's played a few times before, and he probably will a few times again. I'd like to see Zest really hit the probe production a bit harder than in the previous games. Go for that third base.
All right, well, some Cloak Banshees here from the proxy of SpeCial. Zest seeing that the CC is being moved out into the natural here. I mean, Cyclone's quite nice to have here. The Marine buffer not too huge, but it seems like enough to be able to deal with a couple of Adepts and an Oracle.
Yeah.
The Oracle is scouting around for whatever else.
Ooh.
Actually might see the starport in the way here. He's heading to the bottom right of the map.
Yeah. Oh, but actually his path isn't on it. No, he just clicked again. He just changed the path. I think he's going to go. Yeah.
Hello there.
Is he going to turn on the lasers? Yeah. He says, no cloak for you.
Well, that's a little disappointing out there for Terran fans. Cloak gets cancelled.
You know,
That's one Banshee out.
I don't think this is the end of the world.
Nah.
I think you know, you get the money back from that cloak, you lift the starport off, you move it somewhere else, and yeah, you build a Liberator out of it. Maybe come in later. We'll see what he does. Can always just float it home as well. Third Oracle is already out of the map, and now a Phoenix. Now, this is the sort of style that Creator was really enjoying doing and would often go into Blink and +1 afterwards. Zest right now already is being forced into shield batteries. He's going to start the Twilight and the Forge. It's pretty much what we're seeing a lot of the time, the textbook into Blink opening. I feel like SpeCial handled it very well in his previous matches. Love to recall that Banshee right now, wouldn't you?
That would be nice, but it is going to get taken down for free here. Nice tag there from Zest. Doesn't need any more Phoenixes anymore. The Adepts and the Oracles together can actually burn through a defensive position like this when the Marine count is this low and doesn't have combat shield.
That Cyclone needs to get down here yesterday. Oh, there it is. That's too many Oracles. He's just going to kill him.
Wow.
Zest just dives in on top. There's only about 8 Marines. The Marines in the main too late to get down here. I mean, you can see SpeCial there realizing he's caught with his pants down, and Zest, he's done so many of these surprise attacks and just taken these seemingly easy victories today. 4-0.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Thanks a lot to PvP being the matchup that it is, and just these players being absolute monsters. Zest is speedrunning this group right now.
Yeah. I mean, we're like way ahead of schedule, I'm pretty sure. I think we're going to be leaving here early today if Zest keeps this up. Yeah. He's just racing through this group. It is insane how dominant he has shown in these plays. And a lot of the time, you know, he's just kind of committing to these attacks. We saw even in the games 1 and 2 where his attacks didn't work early on. One of those games he still brought back, closed it out. I love the Oracle Adept dive. The decisiveness works out there for Zest. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with the final series and some interviews in just a minute.